guess what? We from the present. We've been... What?
We're from the present.
Hey guys! Humberto and Jonas from the present. Hi! We are here before the episode starts to share with you another true crime podcast that we are obsessed with.
Yes! So...
Are you ready for dessert? Because we are with Evil Pudding Podcasts.
This is what Courtney and Patrick have to show us.
Hi, I'm Courtney.
And I'm Patrick.
And this is our true crime podcast.
Evil Pudding.
We are a husband and wife duo.
I'm ex-military and law enforcement.
And I'm a true crime professional fanatic.
And we will together cover the most depraved and most shocking offenders and events that you probably have ever heard of.
That's right. Only the most evil are covered here.
So join us once a week
as we serve up some evil pudding.
So find Evil Pudding in every single platform. As always, on Instagram is where all the fun is. So show them love. Let's start with our episode. Hey guys! Should it be hey guys or hey spillers from now on?
Hey Spillers.
Hey spillers! How you doing? Welcome,
good?
Welcome to Spilling the Crime, a true crime podcast hosted by
Me, Humberto.
and me, Jonas. And we are doing another Portuguese crime.
Yes.
This
we
one,
know you love some Portuguese crimes.
yeah, because it's not a well-known case from all of you, and we sometimes do mainstream cases, but this time we wanted to do something that probably you guys don't know about. Maybe Portuguese people will know about.
And that is very good. Like, this should be on Netflix or something.
Yeah, no, this one is this is one of the most horrible cases we have in Portugal. It's
We have awesome killers.
no, he's like top 35 in Europe. Oh God.
Yes, we are on the top.
What?
I'm scared for the other 34, but okay.
I want to explore that.
Yes, we will.
Probably
we will
make
do
episodes
that.
about that.
Vítor Jorge, bancário, 38 anos,
Depois do crime.
matava a sua namorada, 4 amigos dela, depois a sua mulher e uma das filhas.
Uma paulada, 2 à facada, 2 a tiro de pistola e 1 a tiro de caçadeira.
Uma outra conseguiu escapar quando o pai a tentava matar.
Eu nunca pensei que ele era assim.
Ele era impecável.
Era uma pessoa muito dada.
Nunca ninguém imagina que esta pessoa pudesse fazer isto.
O Mata-Sete.
This one is about Vítor Jorge, a bank clerk in Marinha Grande, murdered 7 people, including his wife and daughter. The crimes took place on Osso da Baleia beach in Pombal and in Pine Forest in Marinha Grande. They were premeditated, with the murderer confessing that he only had the idea in his head. Kill, kill, kill. He also had a diary where he would give a lot of details. So some of the facts that we are giving on this episode, it's from his diary. Because he had a real diary. Right? I'm
Yes.
going to do this.
An adult man having a diary. A diary.
Vítor...
Vítor.
Vítor Jorge was a normal man like any other. They all are. And had a diary where he would write everything about his past, about his urges and needs, I guess. Vítor Jorge's diaries. Vítor's diary began... Thank you. Diary begins with his early birth at 7 months. Without a father or
He
mother...
starts writing at 7 months.
I think he did. On his diary. On his diary. Without father or mother, I was raised by my grandparents. This is a paragraph from his diary. Without a father or mother, I was raised by my grandparents until the age of 8. I spent entire days fostering at home. And it was at the age of 5, he says, that he witnesses the first great tragedy. You probably don't know this, but I'm going to tell you. His uncle drowned 2 twin daughters. Oh my God, I didn't know about
shit,
this.
I didn't know about this.
Yes. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Okay.
When he was 7 years old, he moved to Lisboa, which is the capital of Portugal, with his mother into a small bedroom in Lisbon. Again, Lisbon. I do repeat a lot. here on this paragraph. His mother was a prostitute and would bring men to their house. Victor would see everything like he was forced to see that. He had no other option. In his diary, he tells us that this marked him as a person and gave him the idea that women were all like this. He now sees his wife and later his daughter like his mother. A whore!
A whore.
She's a whore! Every woman is a whore! A whore! By the way, not a prostitute, but sex workers. We should normalize sex workers. It's a job that some people do, and we shouldn't judge.
Yes, and
okay.
This was the only way that she had to feed him, basically.
Yes.
But she didn't gave him a lot of love.
I mean, that's not the thing. Maybe not in front of him. Maybe go play outside.
As he grew older, his mother had a boyfriend, and Victor tried to get some independence. So he looked for a job. He got a job, but his stepfather didn't like that and beat him. Yes, so Victor had to wait until he turned 18.
Yes,
when he finally came back to his grandmother's.
He had two grandmothers that lived together. They were lesbians.
Stop!
Grandparents.
That is not relevant to the story.
Sorry.
So he went back to live with his grandparents.
Sorry.
Finally, he met his wife, Carminda, that was going to be his wife, and they had their first child.
Yes, but
Annabella.
before this, they got married, and he wanted his wife to be a virgin, but later found out that she was not
at the time that they married.
Yes, and his wife was also abusing the past, but basically he started abusing his wife at the time, and yes, they had their first daughter, Annabella, and they had two more. But while Carminda was pregnant with Annabella, they moved
to Amira Grande, Pombal, so where the crimes happened.
Oh my god.
So Victor starts having this idea that women were all bad.
They're the devil.
Yes. Her mother didn't treat him like she should. Her wife kept from him that she was not a virgin, and the brides that used to hire him for their weddings used to try to give him their bodies.
Yeah, like, thank you for coming.
Like before the wedding and after the wedding.
Wait, did that?
They were all whores.
In his
eyes.
Yes.
Women are all bad.
Yes, but later Victor's parents get married, by the way. We found out that
we didn't told that. So he was alone because his parents flew to Germany and left his mother alone. That was why she had to go to Lisbon and try to make a living.
Yes.
By selling her body.
Yeah.
And now they
he comes
move
back
close to him,
and she's like,
and they get married. This must be so confusing. Like the persons that hurt him the most are not together and happy, and he had this fucked up life. Oh my god! Here we go again.
I'm so sorry.
And something darker happens in Victor's life. One day, his grandmother.
One day on another, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna get you.
One day. So her grandmother died, and this is where he starts having homicidal thoughts.
Yeah, remember that he lived his first 5 years with his grandparents, so they were super important to him. I feel like his grandma was like the example of a wife, of a woman. This is my opinion. I think so, because this was a trigger for him. The perfect woman on his life died, so the other didn't deserve the same respect.
Yes, maybe on a scale, she was like uplifting women.
Yeah,
she was the only reason that women were all not bad.
You suck.
There was a good one.
You suck.
Yes.
Victor, you suck.
He even wrote in his diary that he started suffering at the age of 7, 8 when he was taken from her grandmother. Victor had a difficult childhood, as we already told you.
Yeah.
And this was marked by some serious health issues too. At the age of 10, for example, he was hospitalized because of a renal problem. He was paralyzed from a fracture in his spine, so he was a very troubled guy. Let's say that.
Yeah, and now after all of this that you heard, this is basically the past that we are setting for what is about to happen. This crime happens in the 80s. By the way, the 80s suck.
Everything happens in the 80s.
Every serial killer is from the 80s. He's not a serial killer, by the way. This is different, that we will be talking about in a second. Now, let's talk about not the present, but the 80s present, when this started to happen. He worked in the bank and took photographs at weddings and baptisms. But he spent part of his time planning murders. So, on November 1786, there were 12. And this is a quote from his diary. Before ending my life, I thought of liquidating the following people in the following order. We actually see on his diary the initials from these people. I think they are from the bank people. He felt really inferior
Humiliated,
to them.
yes.
Humiliated at this job that he had. By the way, none of these initials are from his family members, and spoiler alert, possible mistress. He also wrote this that I'm about to tell you. This massacre is clearly premeditated. Its execution should take a maximum of 14 hours for the objective to be partially achieved. Otherwise, this action of mine will be frustrated.
He was planning this all along.
He also had a mustache.
Why is that relevant?
I don't know. I think a mustache in the 80s is like...
Serial killer?
He's giving me serial killer vibes. I mean...
So he's living with Carmina, his wife, 36 years old. Their older daughter, Annabella, 17.
Sandra, 14. And Luis,
10 years old.
10 years old.
Let's do this.
Let's go to the crime. So this crime happened on the night of the 1st and 2nd day of March of 87. Oh my god, it's so hot. I really need a cream on my back.
Do you want me to put the cream on?
Yes, but I also need some help from you guys.
What do you need from our listeners, Jonas?
I would love you guys to do some of these actions. You could us.
Are you saying that I cannot stop putting cream while they don't do that?
I think, yeah.
Jonas, I'm getting tired.
Stop spitting on my back. I just saw you spit on the microphone.
I'm so tired.
Let's move on.
What they have to do?
You have to follow us, or probably not hate us. What?
Be specific. I'm getting tired, Jonas.
Rate us on your favorite streaming platform. And also, that sounds like a sex thing.
I'm so tired.
Stop.
I'm so tired. Tell them.
You need to, guys. You need to do that if you want Humberto to stop. We need to survive. Comment, subscribe, do all of this. Follow us on our platforms in Instagram, in streaming platforms. Oh my god, why are you stopping? Don't stop spreading cream on my back. I'm gonna get red from this summer. It's so hot in here. It's getting hot in here. So the night of the murderer, Victor had a mistress in his mind, by the way, Leonore, who had celebrated her 24th birthday that night. They met at the baptism and stayed connected, I think. He wasn't
invited, by the way.
To this birthday party.
He showed up at the party.
He wanted to say happy birthday, Leonore. I hope you have a really great night. He was way older than her, so...
He was 40-something.
Yeah,
right?
was he
34.
dating or trying to date her? That's something that we don't know, but witnesses say that are friends of Leonora's that say that she was not that kind of girl. She was not a mistress, but a friend.
But Vítor wanted more.
Yeah, oh, fuck. Yeah, she had invited her friends to celebrate her birthday at her mother's house. They left there at night to catch the train, hitchhiked with Vítor, and arrived at the beach of Osso da Baleia. Vítor offers Uber-like services to her and her friends. But plot twist, Vítor had guns and a knife in the car in his diary.
He always took his diary.
He always wrote on his diary what he was about to do, or after what was about to happen.
So apparently they got to the beach and the couples went to a private spot.
Let's go to the beach. Let's go get away.
As expected, the couples went to a private spot to have some fun, I bet. And Leonor was left with Vítor.
Oh boy.
Yes. She was the one to be murdered and she was clubbed to death.
I believe that she didn't want to be with him. This was probably enough reason for the killing spree.
He would describe Leonor as the woman that awakened in him the feelings that he didn't know that he was able to feel.
The only one I loved. He wrote this.
Yes, the one that made him happier. And this was like, he wanted something from her that she not gave. Bush, bush, bush. Leonor is dead.
And then the other 4. He left a message next to Leonor's body. This was because you wanted to. The others weren't planned. They were dragged into this.
They were like collateral damage.
Oh my god. Supposedly he did not know the other 4 people that were there. Luís Teixeira, 17 years old. Maria do Céu Araújo, 20. Isabel Moreira, 21. And José Pacheco, 22. All of them lost their lives at Osso da Baleia beach.
After killing these 5...
Oh my god, yeah. They were not planned, by the way. This is not... I don't think this was planned. Only Leonor, I believe.
I believe this was like an option. Like, if Leonor wants nothing to do with me, I will
kill her.
But remember that he wrote in his diary that he wanted to go on a killing spree and take 14 hours to do that.
How many hours are you wasting at this beach? You need to go fast.
And he will go.
Oh my god.
And he goes. So after that, what does Vítor do?
He goes back home where he started to slaughter his own family. He killed his wife and eldest daughter, taking them to the pine forest nearest to their home, with the excuse that he needed help because he had run over someone. He tricked them, by the way.
Yes.
Come to this place, I stepped someone. I run over sorry, spoiler alert, but I ran over someone. Can you come to this place with me? He marked the
place that he would take her.
Yeah, so he stabbed her 5 times.
And then he goes back home and he goes pick the older daughter.
And does the same thing to her.
Then he goes back again.
Because he has 3 children, so...
Yes, this is going to take a while.
Yeah, so he
goes grab
Sandra, a 14-year-old daughter. And he takes her to the pine forest. And oh my god, all of this happened in one night. Yeah. This is really crazy.
When she got there, she finally realized what was happening.
Yes.
And she saw her sister struggling and crawling. She was still alive.
Oh my god.
This is where she starts begging her father to spare them and to call for help.
And he was like, it's too late. It's always too late for them, right? Oh my god, it's never too late.
It is too late now.
Too late is never too late. Okay. It is a little too late.
I can't. So she fights him, and she was
in the pine forest, and
she's able to break the knife.
Yeah, she was wounded. Managed to take the knife from him and break the blade. Yes, Sandra. Yes. Finally tired, he spared the life of the youngest children that he had, Sandra, and his younger son, Luís, 10-year-old, who slept peacefully at their house with a bag of money next to his bed. And on his diary, he wrote, "I will spare my son because he's a man. And I will leave money for my son. so that he can spread his evil seed into the world. Victor, no, he's no evil. Just because he's your son, like, you suck. Stop doing this. You suck, you dirty man. How could you do this? He's not going to be like you. He's not going to be like you. How dare you do this? Oh my God. Yes, he's a man. What is your problem? Women are also awesome and powerful.
Done. Everybody's dead.
Everybody's not his youngest children, but I believe this was really marked on Sandra's mind for the rest of her life.
Of course. So Sandra is the one that escaped and was able to call for help and to expose her father, basically.
The plan that Victor wanted to do after all this killing was to kill himself afterwards. But guess what? Victor Jorge was now on the run.
He chicken out, basically.
Of course, they always do.
It's very easy to say that you will kill someone and then you kill yourself, but when you actually have to do it, it gets difficult. People were scared and they didn't want to talk about him. Even the police didn't want to find him. He was like this big monster that was capable of everything.
Yeah, there are a lot of bodies, but guess what, guys? We saw a Portuguese documentary about this, and the policeman that was talking about this was like, there were some bodies there. There weren't that many. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what the fuck? But they were afraid of him, basically.
After the crime, Victor, he wrote a letter to a Portuguese famous journal called Correio da Manhã, which today stands for CMTV.
Which is one of the worst
Yes.
journalist places to
do whatever.
Yeah, because every situation that happens in Portugal, they are there.
Yes.
And it's really poorly
Done and
done.
fact-checking and everything.
It's so bad.
But they worked pretty bad at the time too.
Wait,
so...
Correio da Manhã was already up on the 80s?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
We are old. We are very old.
I'm not from the 80s. I don't know what you're talking about.
So he put his diary in a letter to Correio da Manhã on March 2nd. So right after he stopped the killing spree. The day the bodies were found, this diary was already going to Correio da Manhã.
Oh my God, yes, his diary. His diary is on the hand over. They don't know it.
But his diary was only open several days after because nobody was there to open the letter.
What is happening? Leaving the entire region in uproar, Victor was found on the 5th day of the running. He was on the run for 5 days. And he was found in the village of Casais da Lei, which stands for... How do we say this in
Heavenly
English?
couples?
What?
Heavenly couples.
Heavenly couples. A neighbor who knew him well because he had lived there before found him laying on the floor of a shack in ruins. He was arrested and taken to the hospital because he was feverish and had an injured in his leg. And when he was found by the policemen, he was like, please don't kill me! Please don't kill me! It wasn't like this, but it's like, yeah, coward bitch. My God.
Oh my God. The last entry on his diary was, sadly consummated the beginning of my madness. Doctors, do you believe it now?
Oh, wow.
Yes, this is very dark. His diary...
You know...
It's like his thoughts are right. I wrote on a piece of paper.
To prove something. It's like, this is a social experiment.
No, this is like I surrender. And this is what a criminal psychologist says at the end. He had no choice. Either he killed this person and finally ends up with the urge, or otherwise he cannot exist. This is the breaking point, basically.
On the 13th day, the criminal investigator judge took him to the beach and to the pine forest to reenact the crime. Victor appears in the photos of that day with a calm air, explaining to the authorities how he killed 7 people by shooting, clubbing, and stabbing. Oh my God, yes.
He has no remorse.
There are some pictures of this day. You can go to our Instagram to check for them. So basically this was the crime, and now we are on to the trial.
Okay, so Antonio Pizarro was a young judge at the time. this was one of his first cases, and boy, did it end up with a mediatic one. This was insane for
My
Portugal.
God, your first case.
Yes.
And having
I don't know if it was the first, but it was
one of the
firsts.
firsts. Like,
And
a massacre.
Like, besides Maddie McCann, I don't know if we had big cases like this one. This is 7 people were killed in one night.
Oh my God. Was it in 14 hours?
I believe it was, yes.
Oh my gosh.
So the trial began in December that same year. The funny thing here is that Vítor presented himself as 2 different individuals.
Of
So
course.
there was Vítor Jorge that was there, and Vítor Jorge that perpetrated these crimes.
Of course.
This awful man. Even he said on court that the crimes were hideous, that it was evil what they did to the bodies. But it was not him. It was Vítor.
It's never them. It's never themselves.
He
Never
talked about himself in the third person. So,
in a third. Yes, he's a third.
yes, he's a third. I don't care.
This trial was marked by controversy over the murderer's non-imputability, with several experts defending that he had serious mental problems.
And he had no doubt about that.
Yes. He was found liable and sentenced to 20 years in legal terms, but the story are his own words on the first day of the trial. There is no punishment severe enough to punish a monster that took 7 lives. Now he's playing the victim. With his diary. He's taking a new diary to the trial. It's a new chapter.
Before you get mad,
My God.
20 years was the maximum sentence at the time. Okay? So this was the maximum. Portugal, we take some time
We suck.
to do things. Yes.
On the 80s, we sucked because it should be 20 years for each person.
Yes, but it is not. After many attempts from his lawyer, he was considered capable and imputable of the crimes.
Of course. Vítor Jorge confessed to the crimes, asked to be hospitalized for the rest of his life, and warned of the danger of one day killing more people. They condemned him as a common criminal. So, as a normal criminal, not someone that suffered from mental illness.
This must be like super rare.
Yeah.
That a criminal says like, no, wait, I want more.
Yes, I want to be
I
punished.
want more. I want to spend the rest of my life locked up. This is so strange.
Prisoners only served 5/6 of the sentence. Why? Why is that?
It's a
In the
discount.
80s? Is that... Oh, by the way, I have a code. Can I have less than 20 years?
Of the sentence.
Sentence was 20 years. He should have completed 16 and 8 months, as he benefited from severe meningitis. I don't know this word. He only served 14 years old. What? He only served 14 years. What? So he basically was sentenced for 20 years, and he's only, with his discount code, is only serving 14s. He was released on October 5th of 2001. I'm not saying words correctly at this point.
No, you are not.
But I hope you understood. Because, I mean, I'm saying diary, so I'm having baby words at this point.
Okay, after getting out, he went to live with his son, Luis.
Ah!
Yes,
Ah!
the evil seed
Ah!
that was living in England in the lands of the Queen.
Ah!
But he did not. What is that sound?
How?
It's like
how
a
is
cow
his
being
son,
murdered.
How is his son like being like, yes, father, come and live with me. You almost killed you killed my family.
We don't know. Maybe they exchanged letters or something. Like he was 10 years old.
My evil seed, receive me.
Yes, it is strange, but like we don't know
But in
what
England,
they talked about.
receive me, my evil seed, my son. Can we have a cup of tea and live together?
Yes.
So, father, come and live with me. Vítor attempted suicide several times throughout his life. 3 times before the 87 crimes, at least 13 times after he immigrated to Corsica using drugs and gas. This was after he went to live with his son and then went to live with his cousin, Isabel Jorge. And Victor always returned, by the way, to Portugal in August and stayed with family and friends in Calvaria. Everyone welcomed him as best as they could because they were afraid of his reaction. I mean, I would also be afraid of his reaction. I mean,
Who wouldn't?
sorry, the bottle touched my nipple. The nipples are the eyes of the face.
In 2018, he was found dead at his home at the age of 69 years old.
We were not able to find an exact witness to this because in some websites it was his lifetime partner, in other websites it was his cousin Isabel Jorge. But
It doesn't matter.
It
He's
doesn't
dead.
matter. He was
Okay.
found 2 days later on
Nice.
Monday.
Thank God he's dead.
Yes.
Nice news.
Goodbye.
I will leave you with this diary entry.
Oh my God.
I must say that it will not be easy to erase my image of your minds.
Oh my God.
So finally we are over this one. Thank God.
I can't believe we actually had this in Portugal on the 80s. I mean, whoa, top 35 in Europe. That's something for a country like this.
I hope we end up there.
We get better placements in Eurovision.
Yeah, but I hope we stay there. I hope we get lower.
Oh yes, guys. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this week's episode. It was a Portuguese case. We are thinking of doing like more Portuguese cases, like maybe have a month. We are not sure. We are still workshopping this idea.
We are doing something.
Again,
Thank you for
guys.
listening and getting through these episodes.
It's so awesome. The day we are recording this, we just hit 1,000 streams. Oh my God, that's so awesome. Thank you so much. I'm not speaking English at this point. I speak
Bye. We have
gibberish.
to finish. Jonathan's not
I'm
well.
not
Bye.
Diary.
We love you. Ciao.
Diary. Write on your
Bye.
diaries, everyone.
Bye.
Oh, allergies. Oh, we're dying. Oh my God. Oh shit. Okay.